and varied. Here we go.
Kenneth Walker going to the Kansas City Chiefs. He's leaving Tampa Bay. Jalen Phillips with the Carolina Panthers. Yep. And we got another one.
Trey Hendrickson reaches an agreement with the Ravens that will keep him in Baltimore.
Shefty Tweed!
We have some breaking news as we speak. Schefter can. I like that.
By the way, he's calling right now.
I feel like I'm doing Nightline from the Thunderdome.
Not much more powerful than Adam Schefter's phone last week. Free agency absolute madness. And today the madness continues with the NCAA brackets now available. Over 8 million of you have already signed up. Go sign up right now on ESPN.com. We thought we would help keep that theme going here with our own free agency bracket, because why not? It's March 16th. Let's just have a little fun. We're going to use this to determine which teams had the best signings last week. This is our bracket. Chase, you are up first with the 49ers versus the Patriots. Which one did you like more in free agency?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you sign a future Hall of Famer in Mike Evans, to me, you got to give it to the 49ers. Sort of hard to lose when you do that. I absolutely love the Mike Evans signing. True 50-50 ball guy, but he's a veteran leader not only on the field, but off the field as well. A perfect weapon for Kyle Shanahan. I mean, give me Kittle, Christian McCaffrey, Mike Evans, Ricky Pearsall when he can stay healthy. Sign me up for that offense. They got to figure out the offensive line a little bit, but Brock Purdy for him is going to be a huge hit. I liked what the Pats did. Romeo Doubs, right? Kevin Byard, I think, is one of the most underrated signings in all of free agency as a ball hawk. But like I said, when you sign a future Hall of Famer, it's gotta be the 49ers.
All right, so I'm gambling a little bit here because I'm not sure our production staff trusts me to actually populate this. Oh, look at that. Okay, 49ers. They were like, you could do it while there's video on the screen. I'm like, no, let me do it on camera, people. Mina will continue here with two teams who spent a lot of money. Which moves did you like better, the Raiders or the Titans?
I'm going to go Raiders here because I just like these players a lot. And I like what they do for the young quarterback, Fernando Mendoza. Tyler Linderbaum, look, it's a lot of money, but I do think not only is the premium worth it because of the player, but also you have a rookie quarterback who's going to be playing under center, which he didn't do in college. You have a center coming in who's one of the best zone blocking centers in the entire NFL, but it can also set protections for him, so you're helping both the quarterback and the run game. I do think it was worth it. Naylor, an underrated addition. And then on the flip side, completely revamping your linebacker group with two former teammates, Dean and Walker, who I think have complementary skill sets. Again, big contracts being handed out, but they're being handed out to young players. So now you have a young core of the roster that can grow together around the quarterback. To me, they made the correct choices in identifying the players they needed.
By the way, this is a great reminder of what some of these teams did last week. If it's all kind of gobbledygook in your brain, we're telling you exactly what happened. Yeah. Next up, Chase, two AFC powerhouses in the Chiefs and the Bills. Which team in our bracket here did you think did better in free agency last week?
Yeah, I got to go with the Chiefs. I love the Kenneth Walker signing. Aloy Gilman played with him in L.A. for the Chargers, thought he was great. And then just the fact that they were able to re-sign Travis Kelce back. I know a lot was made of all the trades and stuff. And then Tonga is an absolute bulldog at nose tackle in the middle. But the prize signing, without a doubt, is Kenneth Walker. It's the first time really Brett Veach has spent a lot of money on a running back. I know Mina likes this signing as well, being a Seahawks fan. But it's just one of those things where he can help the offense out so much, not only in the run game, right, explosive threat, but when you get a Super Bowl MVP coming over, and we talked about Andy Reid drawing up plays on napkins, but he's a much better receiver out of the backfield than a lot of people give him credit for. So I do like the Chiefs here.
Yeah, you were talking earlier about Andy Reid drawing up plays on napkins. I'm excited to see what he does on a napkin for Kenneth Walker. All right, Mina, we're going to stay in the AFC with the Steelers versus the Chargers in free agency moves. Who came out on top for you last week between those two?
This one's a little closer because I do like the Chargers' moves and what it'll do for the run game in particular. But I think as a whole, I prefer the Steelers really to a lot of free agencies around the league just because of the value and the fit of the players. Starting with Pittman Jr., who they traded for. I think he complements DK Metcalf really well as an intermediate weapon. Very good route runner, can work the middle of the field. Also complements Aaron Rodgers should he return at quarterback. I think Rico Dowdle is a complete and underrated back. Three-down back, can also catch passes. And then Jamel Dean was one of my favorite signings in free agency. phenomenal final year in Tampa Bay. A very good man corner, so you pair him opposite Joey Porter Jr., and that gives you the flexibility with their new defensive coordinator, Patrick Graham, to play more man coverage with, of course, that deep and terrifying pass rush. So I think they found a lot of really good players at good values, and I like how the total picture came together.
All right, let's bring in the king of free agency, Adam Schefter. How do we do here so far, Shefty? Give him your critique on our bracket.
Well done, Laura. Here's the one thing that's interesting about the Chargers that I think people have failed to realize. Most of the free agents that they signed were released here coming up to free agency. Therefore, the players who are released and not on expiring contracts don't count against the compensatory draft pick formula in 2027. And so the Chargers have kept alive their compensatory draft picks in 2027, which is said to be a very deep draft. So advantage San Diego in thinking ahead towards the 2027 draft. Most of the players they signed were released, and therefore they're exempt, and they don't count against that formula.
Of course, it's the former Ravens executive, right, Adam, who's playing the comp pick game and crushing it in L.A. It's all, that's what they have done for so long, so well. It's a great point by you, and not surprising to see that the Chargers are doing it well, too, now.
Especially after the way their season ended, it's exciting to think about them getting some more support, both offensively and defensively, for Justin Herbert. All right, we're going to continue, by the way. We're going to do our final four in free agency in our bracket. That's coming.